Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started into how the Lord freed me from my mental, I'll say, I did, how do I get into this? Okay, give me 1 second. I hadn't known it, but when I was a child, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And why I'm telling you I had not known it is because this wasn't something that was revealed to me until I was an adult. So once as a child and once as an adult by two separate therapists, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. The childhood one I didn't know, but like when I became an adult and I went to seek therapy because I was really struggling and I was trying to get like help the therapy route. I didn't end up continuing therapy. And if you don't know what bipolar disorder is, I have the Google description right here. It says a disorder associated with episodes of mood swings ranging from depressive lows to manic highs, which I had experienced a lot while growing up. And then you mix that with the addiction, and that's probably why, you know, I was behaving in the way that I was behaving, so to speak. Not to mention that I also struggled with severe anxiety, which was also taking part in my antisocialism. And I also struggled with depression. When I was a teenager, and you know, that whole point I was talking about in my last video, I hadn't known that I was going through these mental issues. I kind of felt the depression, but I didn't really know. And also, I wasn't aware of the fact that as a child, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Now, my mother stated she didn't want to medicate me as a child, which I am okay with that decision because as an adult, I wouldn't have wanted to take that either. But she stated that the reason why she chose for me not to be on medication as a child was because she didn't like the way it made me. And it took like, I don't really remember all of what she said, but she just didn't like what it was doing to me, the medication. So she decided not to. So yeah, I was struggling mentally and I didn't even really know it. I thought the reason I was struggling was because of just like the addictions, but it was like a whole another level when it came to the mental state of it all. And this is really going to be a quick video because I'm just going to go over how the Lord freed me from this. I actually have notes. Oh my gosh, let me get them. I almost completely forgot. I have these three right here, old little crumply papers, but I still have them because I believe it played a big role in how the Lord was freeing me from my mental disorders. It's like, this is like really revealing, but you know, as I stated, I'm kind of like an open book at this point in my life. So I'm gonna I'm gonna read what I wrote. So this first one I wrote, I titled it Letter to Myself. I have two of them. I have this one, which is part 1, and then I had this one, which is part 2. Do you see how old these are? Like, this happened so long ago, but it's pertinent to the story, so I'm gonna read them. These are the things that the Lord was speaking to me, okay? So I wrote, don't stop when life gets hard. Keep going. Keep believing and trusting in God. You didn't deserve the things that happened to you when you were a kid, but God allowed you to go through them because he knew it would make you stronger. God has already blessed you with so much. Have peace in that. When times get hard, please repeat after me, okay? And it's 6 statements. 1, with God, I am enough. 2, I am worthy. 3, I am forgiven. 4, I deserve peace. It is my birthright. 5, others' opinions do not matter. Only God's. And 6, being faith over fear. Okay? And then on the back of it, I wrote, never forget, you are loved, you are cared for, you are forgiven, you are strong, and you can have peace through God in any storm. And as I said, I was spending time with the Lord, and he was just speaking these things to me. And so I wrote them down, and I just felt the presence of the Lord, and he was like telling me, like, read these things to yourself every day. Like, when you start having those moments where you just feel sad, or like you feel like that depression kicking in, or you feel anxious, right? To read these and know that these are true. These are things that the Lord has spoken over you. And so I would do that. And as I'm reading them, it's like every day, again, it's a day-to-day thing. The Lord is helping me, and the Lord is freeing me. As I had stated in my last video, I was really struggling, and the root of everything that I was like going through, be it the addictions, be it the persecution and lies, be it the mental health issues, the root of everything I was going through, and I hadn't realized it until I got deeper with the Lord, was fear. Asking him to heal me, allowing him to heal me, and just continuing my relationship in seeking the Lord. Okay. And like I said, again, just like with getting over the addictions, just like with getting over the hurt and pain from the persecution and lies, it was a day to day. As I was stating, I had to seek the Lord daily in order to be freed and healed from these things. But I'm telling you, if you honestly and willingly and diligently seek the Lord and allow him to heal the things inside of you that are broken, that he can and will heal them. And I am a testament to that. I have one more note card that I had written around this time, like I said, when the Lord was revealing things to me about my mental health. And this one was specifically about intrusive thoughts. I had watched a video, and if I can find the exact video, I'll link it in my description, but if not, I'm sorry. But this specific video really opened my eyes to the fact that I had been struggling with intrusive thoughts, and I needed God's help again to help me with that. And so what I did was I sat with God again, and I started writing. Okay, and this is about intrusive thoughts, all right? So I wrote this. So here are some key things I need to remember. This was also from the video, and I wrote these down. The thoughts I'm having are not mine. It's important to remember that when you have intrusive thoughts, we don't have to associate ourselves with them. We can just know that they're there. 2, God has freed me from negative thinking, so I don't have to accept these intrusive thoughts. And the verse that aligns with that, oh my goodness, that's what it is. I need to get that paper. The verse that aligns with that is when the Lord says, don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank him for all he has done. Okay. And then I believe, what is it? Philippians 4. I need to get that paper. Hold on. Okay, so my apologies. I understand this video has kind of just been a little bit all over the place. I didn't really sit and think about how I was going to plan out and discuss it. I haven't been doing that. I don't have a script. Okay, when I record these videos, I just go right off the dome and ask the Lord to help me and to speak through me at different points in time, if need be. So I read from the persecution and lies videos. I said that there was another section that I had written, again, when the Lord was speaking to me and we were writing. I say we. I was writing along, allowing the Lord to speak to me, and writing everything down that I was getting, okay? So I wrote, God wants me to think about things that are true, noble, right, pure, excellent, and praiseworthy, okay? Which must mean that through God, I have the ability to control my thoughts. I can choose what I think of in my mind. I do not have to be a slave to my brain and thoughts because Jesus has overcome. I need to fully understand this and stop accepting the mental turmoil the enemy wants for me, okay? That's what I wrote. And I know that that was also like around a video that I had seen and the Lord speaking to me, okay? And I believe that is Philippians. Don't worry about anything, instead pray about everything, and to think about things that are true, noble, right, pure, excellent, right? So we just read that. That was another thing that opened my eyes. Like, we control our thoughts. We can control our thoughts. We're not a slave to what we think, right? Although it may not always seem like that and feel like that. And if you know, this is like an if you know thing. Not everybody struggles with mental health, but if you do struggle with mental health and you do struggle with intrusive thoughts, which are just thoughts that kind of just like pop up in your head randomly and it's just kind of like out of your control. It's not out of your control. That's the thing. Forgive me. Okay. We don't have to accept those things as true or as reality or as real. Like I said, if you have struggled with your mental health, then you'll know. And if you haven't, then that is such a great thing and blessed. Like, honestly, that's such a blessing. Let me finish. 3, the past is in the past for a reason. Let it stay there. And 4, God is my protector. I need not fear. Okay. So these are all the things I wrote during this point in time. And like I said, spending time with God, getting in the secret place, asking God to remove from me, this mental turmoil. So I hope that what I'm saying is being articulated correctly. I think I need to start maybe like jotting it all down because I have like so much in my mind that I want to say, and then I can get easily distracted by my son and what he's doing, and I just kind of like lose my footing a little bit, and I just try to get back to it. So like truly I apologize. But in essence, this is how the Lord freed me from my mental health issues, okay? For one, he made me realize that he can heal the things that I struggle with. For 2, he made me realize I don't have to accept what I'm thinking or the feelings that I'm going through as just who I am. Because like in the world, they'll tell you that like, oh, you know, and you just go around being like, oh yeah, I have anxiety, or yeah, I have depression. But it's like you're coming into agreement with them. And another thing the Lord had to make me realize is that everything is spiritual, whether people want to believe it or not. Okay, so it's all spiritual. We don't have to accept anxiety as what we have or what we struggle with or a part of who we are. We can know that Jesus is an overcomer. Okay, so in Christ, we can overcome any and all things that we are struggling with. Yes, that includes mental health. Okay, so through what the Lord had been revealing to me, getting in the Word, reading the Bible, asking and allowing the Lord to heal me, reading what I had wrote down on a day-to-day basis and consistently seeking the Lord, I found that the anxiety and the depression and the disorder that I had been struggling with, it's like I no longer, I'm trying to like articulate this correctly, but I'm truly trying to tell you, it's like it was gone. Like, I'm serious. I'm so serious. Like, I no longer struggle with depression. And I used to have depression bad, like to the point where I would just be sitting and crying or like curled up in a bed somewhere, and I wouldn't tell anybody this. I used to go through all of it just alone, not realizing I wasn't alone because Jesus is always there, as I stated not too long ago. But like, I remember there were so many nights where I would just be like crying, just like weeping actually, because it was just consistent. I would just cry for hours. There was one night when I remember specifically when the Lord pulled me out of my mental issue. Okay, I was laying in my bed and I was just weeping, and I had my phone on, and I was on YouTube, and I was just laying in bed. It was late at night. I can't remember if this was before or after I had my son, but I was just laying in bed and I was weeping really, really badly. And I looked at my phone and I saw the song "Let Go" by Dwayne Woods, and I was like, what is this? I never listened to the song. I had never heard it before, and I just decided, I just felt called to, I couldn't feel, like I had this overwhelming feeling to listen to the song. So I play it, and as I'm listening to the song, I'm like, it's like speaking to me, like, and what I'm going through and all the emotions and the feelings I'm feeling. And it's like I knew that was the Lord placing it there after I get done listening to the song, I just go right into prayer. Because that's what the Lord had been leading me into. And then that's what really like kick-started me seeking God for my mental health. Jesus, in every sense of the word, was my therapist. So whenever I was struggling, right, and I was having like all these feelings and emotions, I would just go to the secret place and I would just vent to the Lord. Like, you know what, God? Like, you know how people go to like their therapist and stuff? I was venting to God, literally, still do to this day, you know, like vent to the Lord. He wants to hear you. I am in no way, shape, or form trying to discourage anybody from going to therapy. If you feel that therapy is good for you and it benefits you, that's great. I think you should go. I'm not making therapy sound bad or anything like that. I'm just telling my testimony on how the Lord healed me from my mental health issues that I had struggled with. I'm calling them issues, but you know, specifically the bipolar disorder, the anxiety, and the depression. And I can tell you right now, without a shadow of doubt, I no longer struggle with them. Do I have my good days and bad days like everybody else? Sure. But I don't have the days where I'm laying in bed just like consistently weeping or not wanting to get out of bed or not wanting to eat, not wanting to take care of myself. Like, I don't have those feelings anymore. And that's because the Lord healed me from it. But yeah, in essence, that's pretty much it for this video. That's pretty much it for this series, actually. That's a wrap. I haven't discussed my childhood trauma. At one point, I will discuss that. But as of right now, I just wanted to keep it about these 3 specific topics because, like I said, I had a lot of issues, okay? And we're just scratching the surface here. But these are the 3 key points that I had been discussing with the Lord that he wanted me to specifically share. There will come a time when I will discuss childhood trauma, but that time is not today. I will, you know, at some point in the future be discussing everything I went through in my childhood because it was rough, all right? But for now, this is where I am leaving it. This is how I am ending this 3-part series of my testimony. Thank you if you watched all 3 to the fullness of them. Thank you. I appreciate it. Even if you didn't watch the fullness, I do pray that some part of my testimony may have helped you in some way, shape, or form. And just sharing how the Lord freed me from these things in hopes that even if, like I said in the beginning of this, my very first video, I said, you know, even if my story, not I, but even if my story just helps one singular individual, that's more than enough for me. That's plenty for me. All of heaven is rejoicing when one who was lost is now found. I don't think it goes exactly like that, but all right. I'm going to end the video with a Bible verse as I always do. Again, that is an end. That is literally a wrap to this testimony series. I've been posting like every single day. This is a lot. I don't know if I'll keep posting every single day. I have to like seek the Lord about that. But I am glad I no longer have to go over the testimonies anymore. If you choose to stick around and see what else I post, yay. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Know that you are so loved by the Lord. So let me get my Bible and read a Bible verse. So I asked God to give me a Bible verse, and I flipped open to the book of Job, specifically chapter 12, verse 4. And that verse reads, I have become a laughingstock to my friends, though I called on God and he answered. A mere laughingstock, though righteous and blameless. And what stuck out to me in that verse was, though I called on God and he answered. It's very it feels good to know that the Lord doesn't just hear our prayers, but he also answers them. With that being said, I pray the Lord bless you. I pray you have a blessed day. I pray the Lord keep you. I pray the Lord heals you from the things that you silently struggle with. And always know that you are loved and protected and covered by the blood. Thanks again for watching. Shalom.